My name is Chanelle Magele, aka Chasing Gesiggie. As always, Comrades is like a vibe. It is an energy. So leading up to when we actually stand on the starting line, there is everything, all the emotions that you could possibly go through. So there's excitement, there's anxiety, and there's just, fun. We're really just looking forward to reaping the rewards of the training that we've put in for the last 4 months. Okay. So the most enjoyable part for me is waking up at 2 a.m. in the morning, right? It is the feeling of being anxious, putting on your gear that you're going to run in, and then actually just realizing that the moment has finally arrived. So we make our way from Durban to Pietermaritzburg. It's a very nerve-wracking drive, I will tell you that, because we are so focused on, the start. So once you get to Pietermaritzburg, it's just about the atmosphere and the vibe with all the other runners. So I think for me, the most challenging part was knowing that I had to stop. I had trained extremely hard, and I can't help but feel disappointed. I feel angry, I feel upset, I feel all sorts of emotions. I knew that at 11 Ks, my race was over. But adrenaline, anxiety, and I think just wanting to finish, because there were so many people rooting for me, and I didn't want to let them down. So the hardest part was really getting to 24 and calling it quits. So as we were coming through, from City Hall, going towards Durban, 5 Ks into the race, we went from a highway into a very slim street, and obviously that caused congestion. So runners were coming, and we obviously had to stop almost dead. And as we were running, one of the runners behind me caught my back foot. And as he caught my back foot, I tried to stabilize my balance. But because it was so dark and the road was uneven, as I stood on my right leg, I twisted it. But I think because of the adrenaline, right, I hadn't felt anything. There was no pain, no nothing, and I continued to run. I think I got to poly shorts, and as we started going downhill, that's when I could, feel the pain in the leg. And I thought, maybe it's just my leg is still cold, it will warm up, I'll just continue, and I pushed through. I've never broken a bone in my life. So I didn't even know that I had broken a bone. So when I got hurt at 5 Ks, I got to 11 Ks, and I had asked the physios to just strap me. So they strapped my ankles, and I tried to continue. I couldn't, but I walked up until 24 kilometers. And when I got to that point, I thought, it's just a twisted ankle. I'll come back next year. I then swapped my shoes sort of to go and support, but the pain was excruciating. I ended up in casualty, only to find out that I did break my fibula bone. Don't ask me how. I still can't remember. But yeah, that for me, I've never had to deal with a broken bone. So that for me is the strangest part of this entire race. Oh, and the cock that didn't grow at the start. Or it had some sort of corona because it wasn't the same. So look, the unfortunate part is I would have to undergo surgery because the manner in which the bone had broken, there is some displacement which requires them to go in and operate. So on Monday, that's when I will undergo surgery, and then we'll take it from there. Look, I don't think that 2024 is completely out. I probably will be out for about 4 months until I can start rehab. And then once I get into rehab, I could potentially still run next year, and I'm hoping. So I'm going to do everything in my power that I can do to make sure that I line up and complete, the goal that I had set for 2023. Look, I have to say the team from Tefosi has been absolutely amazing, and it's not just now that I've been injured, but leading up to Comrades. They'd made sure that we were sorted, gift packages. They always made sure that they checked in. Laura was amazing checking in with us, making sure that the nerves was at par. And look, as always, they always give us great gifts. It's not that we're there for the gifts, but they always looked after us. So with this shoe, tried and tested, I've struggled with quite a number of shoes for my feet, but the Cloud Stratus has always been my go-to. So tried, tested, gone to war with it, and that was going to be my shoe of choice. Because number one, it is one shoe that fits my foot like a glove. It's breathable, because I often tend to, as runners, we wet ourselves. And the worst thing you want is to have wet socks and a wet shoe. That just doesn't sound great. And for blisters, it's not awesome as well. So the shoe is it's amazing. I haven't had any issues, and the support that I need is perfect. All I can say is go through the fields. I'm going through the fields right now, and it's okay. It's okay for me to acknowledge that I'm disappointed, that I'm hurt, that I'm upset. Acknowledge that, understand why you feel like that. But once you're done, it's time to, dust yourself off and just start again. There's nothing wrong with starting over. There's nothing wrong with not completing something, right? We fail and we fail forward. And that for me is the key that's going to keep me from going back into a dark hole.